chapter is 31 verses. 31 verses plus 19, which would give us 50 verses. So y'all divide 50 verses and read whatever your divide is. Exit. What's that? Eight, they got 8 apiece, somewhat. And then so 2 people read 9 verses. All right, the first person and the last person read 9. Whoever's going first and last. All right, so Exodus 22 and 1.
Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set.
No, sir. Exodus 22 and verse 1.
If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep, and kill it, or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep.
Mhm.
If a thief be found breaking up and be smothered, smitten, that he died, there shall no blood be shed for him.
So if a thief be found breaking up and be smitten, that he died. So if somebody catch somebody stealing and kill him, the law is ain't no bloodshed for that. So ain't nobody going to jail or some, situation like that, because it's self-defense. Now when you read in the law, it tell you thou shalt not kill, but that's not what the Hebrew says. The Hebrew says thou shalt not murder. So this is a justified kill right here, according to the Most High. So we can go ahead.
If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be bloodshed for him.
So if the sun be risen upon him, so if you wait to kill that man, you didn't catch him in the act, and you wait to kill him, and you go kill him, there shall be blood for you, because that was a premeditated murder. That's what that was. Come on.
For he should make full
Restitution. That means he should make that restitution that we just read in the first verse. He should pay back that which he taken. All right.
If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his death.
If he ain't got nothing, he sold it, then he need to go into slavery for his death. And that's what the prison system is, slavery. Go ahead.
If the thief be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or
Donkey.
or sheep, he shall restore double.
So if they find what he stole, then he got to give double of what he took. That's the law on that. 5.
If a man shall cause a field of vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field of the best of his own field and of the best of his own vineyard shall be made restitution.
So if you start putting, and this is important, because the thing is, if we talking about getting some sort of land together where we all gonna live, then it got to be certain boundaries when it comes to the land. Now, if you got some animals and you go and set your animals out in another brother's land, knowing that's his land, and then eat up all his crops, what you gonna do? You gotta make restitution on that. You gotta pay him back, because that's how he get paid, or that's how he eat, feed his family. So that's not fair. 6.
If fire break out and catch in horns, so that the sacks of corn or the standing corn on or the field be consumed, therewith he that findeth handle the fire shall surely make restitution.
So you see how they be making fires out here, and they just do it just to either they burn their trash or they burn down crops or weeds to where they want to plant it. If that fire go too far and it burn down other people's stuff, you got to pay them people back for that. It's restitution. This is the Most High's law. All right, 7.
If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double.
Mm-hmm.
If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges, to see whether he hath put his hand unto his neighbor's good.
Because I say I take Kevin, I'll be like, Kevin, hold this money for me. Right? Look, he grab it. and I let him hold the money. And then I'll be like, let's put this in a safe spot for me. Now if a thief break in and take that money, and then he come back to me, be like, man, somebody stole it. I'm like, bro, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You already thinking like that brother took it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because who else knew where it was at? You know, who else knew that I had money in that spot at that time to come and get it? So you thinking he did it, right? So the owner, the master of the house, got to pay back that money, unless the thief be found red-handed. Then the thief got to deal with it. Yeah. All right. So now we at the 9th verse.
For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for goats, for sheep, for
Raiment.
that's it. For
Mhm.
sheep, for raiment,
Raiment is clothing. That's your clothes.
or for any manner of lost thing which another challenge
Mhm.
to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his master.
Mhm. So the Most High, with the law, there's a government, and there should be judges within that government somewhere. All right, that's why we can't think we keeping the law. We say this every week. We can't think that we keeping the commandments and the law of the Most High without having the structure set up. Christ brought the structure. The structure is the heads of the church. Christ brought that. He set that up in the New Testament. So we can't believe that we keeping commandments and it ain't no judge, no justice around. No one to judge around. The church is the judge. Hey, where we at? Who reading now? 10. Mary. And we're gonna read that scripture too today, where it showed that it's our custom. It's our custom that the young men of age read out of the law. That's how it always been. It was always the young men that would read. And that so that we see ain't nothing against the sisters. It ain't nothing that we got against the sisters. It's just the custom. All right. The 10th verse.
If a man deliver unto his neighbor and
You see how he looked at me? A donkey. You can, your daddy ain't gonna let you say it, so say donkey.
See the context of words.
Right, well, you know, I mean, it's not a, and that's a thing too. See, in America, it's the land of confusion, Babylon, right? So they took that word, which is, I'm gonna say it is ass, right? And it's not a curse word. It actually does mean a donkey. That's what it means. But they flipped it and made it to be a disrespectful word when it's really not. So, yeah.
any beast to keep and it die or be hurt or driven away, no man seeing it. Then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he has not put his hands unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for a witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn.
And if a man borrow aught, uh, aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. But if the owner thereof be with, he shall not make it good.
Mhm.
If it be in hire thing, it came for his hire. And if a man tempts,
Entice.
entice,
Yeah,
entice
entice.
a maid that is not bothered,
Betrothed. Betrothed.
and lie with her, he shall surely indulge her to be his wife.
If a man spit game at a girl, at a woman, and she like it, and they lay down, she's supposed to become that man's wife. That's the law. That's the man supposed to take her to be his wife. Go ahead.
If her father utterly refuses to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the
Dowry.
dowry
Yep.
of virgin.
So if the father don't even want to get that woman to that man, then he still got to pay the father. That was our custom. It should still be our custom. All right. We supposed to go to the father, talk to the father, tell him, hey, I want your daughter. Now this before laying with her. We supposed to do that. But if a situation come where this happened, that man need to go to the father, and the father could refuse, but that man still got to give the father something. You got to go to the next eldest in her family, the next man, the man that's there. And if it ain't a man there, uncles, something. Yeah. So we are 18.
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
That's for witches. Witches, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And guess what? The wages of sin is death. Guess what? Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So sinning is rebellion. So out of sin comes what? Death. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Whosoever lieth with it, he shall surely be put to death.
Who's, yeah. But the law done away with, though. They claim that people say the law done away with, but then you read this scripture and ask them, can we do this? They say no. Well, then what? Go ahead.
He that sacrifices unto any God, save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly restored.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt.
So hold up, strangers, that's other races. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. So that's law. But you got brothers out here talking about, hey, bow down and kiss my feet, white man. And they using the scriptures to do it. They going in the Bible. I don't know if y'all seen that, but that's what they do. Once brothers find out they Israel and they find out that the Most High, the God of the Bible, is, they the apple of his eye, then they abuse it. They abuse it. So
if thou afflict them in any wise, and their cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. My wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows. If thou lend money of any of my people that is poor minded, thou shalt not be to them as an unsure.
Usurer, that means you shouldn't add interest. So if I lend you some money and then you talking about, hey man, I need this % on top of what I just gave you, that's against the law. That's against God's law. That's breaking the law. We're not supposed to charge interest. And read that again and say of, go ahead, just read. No, you got it. Go ahead.
Neither shall lay upon him as usury.
Usury.
If thou may all take thy neighbor's remnant to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the son built down.
So if you take him and say, all right, I'm gonna give you this in good faith, but I'm gonna bring back whatever I said I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm just giving you this, right? You're supposed to bring that back when you said you was gonna bring it back. Go ahead.
For that is his covering only, it is his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep, and it shall come to pass, when he crieth unto me, I will hear, for I am gracious. Thou shalt not believe,
Revile.
thou shalt not revile the God, nor curse the ruler of thy people.
Thou shalt not revile the gods. Go ahead. Or nor curse the ruler of thy people. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy right fruit and thy liquor. The firstborn of the son shall thou give unto me.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise shalt thou do with thine own oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with thee.
Read 20, real quick, read 29 again.
Thou shalt not delay to offer the first day of right fruits and of thy liquors. For the firstborn of thy son shalt thou give unto me.
That's law. The firstborn of our sons is supposed to be our inheritance. All right, we supposed to the Most High. But check it out. That's why you got a couple of nations that's angry with us. Esau, the Edomites, and Ishmael, the Ishmaelites, because they feel like they was cheated because they were born first, but they didn't receive the promise. So this is why they feel like they was cheated. But see, that promise was from the Most High. It wasn't of man. But go ahead.
And ye shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall ye eat whose flesh is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast into the dogs.
Neither shall ye eat beasts. So if we find some roadkill, we ain't supposed to eat it. If it's some roadkill, you don't mess with that. Go ahead. If you see something that's ran over in the street, yeah, or you, yeah. We ain't supposed to eat nothing dead already. If we walk up on it and it's dead, we supposed to bury it. We don't supposed to eat it, even if it's lawful to eat. That's the law. It say thou shalt what, Bink?
Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be unrighteous.
Thou shalt not lie. That's a lie.
Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in the cause of the blind.
Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. That's gang banging and stuff like that. That's a multitude of people gathered together to do nothing but evil. Period.
Neither shalt thou speak in the cause of the blind after meeting to rest judgment. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. If thou meet thy enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again.
Mm-hmm.
Thou see a donkey of him that hateth to be mine under his burden, and what is forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with it. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause.
Y'all saw that though. That's talking about somebody that hates you, somebody who's an enemy to you. The Most High said, even if you see him out there working and struggling, help him too. Help him too. That's how you diffuse the situation. Y'all can become cooler. You know, go ahead.
Keep thee far from thy false pattern, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked.
Mhm.
And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift of blindeth the wise, and perverteth the words of the righteous.
The gift is a bribe because it was just talking about justifying. So it says, and thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise. So you ain't supposed to take bribes. No bribes. And perverteth the words of righteousness, because then you can be bought and you can be, you can go out here and be for an unrighteous cause. You can misjudge an unrighteous cause in the taking of a gift. But go ahead.
Also, thou shalt not oppress the stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Egypt.
So we shall not oppress another nationality, another race of people. seeing that we know the heart or the mind of strangers who was oppressed in Egypt. So how can former slaves make slaves others, knowing how I feel to be a slave? That's what the Most High said.
In 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof.
Mhm.
But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat.
Hmm.
And what they leave, the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard, and with thy olive yard. 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the 7th day thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thine donkey may rest, and the son of the handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed.
And in all things that I have said unto you, be
Circumspect.
circumspect,
That means be in agreement with.
and make no mention of the name of other gods.
Commanded.
Neither let it be heard out thy mouth.
Mhm.
3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread.
That's Passover.
Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days as I commanded thee. In the time appointed of the month of Bid,
That's the first month.
for in it thou comest out from Egypt. And none shall appear before thee empty.
So when we celebrate Passover, it's 3 holy days that all of Israel is required to celebrate. Now, we was required to go back to Israel to celebrate them, but we don't have the land no more. So obviously we can't go back to do it. But we're required to keep these 3 holy days. And we ain't supposed to come empty-handed, none of us. 16.
And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of thy labors.
That's the day of Pentecost, the first fruits. That's a holy day. We're supposed to keep that. That's the second one. Go ahead.
Which thou hast sown in the field. And the feast of ingatheration.
In gathering.
Which is in the end of the year.
Mhm.
When thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field.
Now that's the day of a Feast of Tabernacles. That's the Feast of Tabernacles. The day of ingathering. Go ahead.
3 times in the year, all thy males shall appear before the Lord God. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice when leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning.
So what's the blood of the sacrifice now? Christ. So unleavened bread we shall eat for 7 days under Christ now, not under the sacrifices of the Old Testament. Go ahead. Yeah.
First of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seed a kid in his mother's milk.
Don't boil a lamb in his mother's milk. That's cruel. A kid, a goat or a lamb, you don't boil it in his mother's milk. All right. Keep reading, boss.
Behold, I sent the angel before thee to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
Who was that angel? Keep reading. 21.
Beware of him and obey his voice.
Who voice we supposed to obey?
Christ.
Christ. That angel and from the Old Testament was Christ.
Oh,
The-
angel
that-
of the Lord.
That's right, the angel of the Lord. Christ was the angel that led us out of Egypt. That was Christ. Remember that pillar of fire? That was Christ. Go ahead.
Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him out.
Provoke him not.
Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in it.
Listen, he will not pardon our transgressions. And Yeshaya is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He don't change. Huh? Go ahead. You
See,
got
that's the thing right there. See, they give you a picture of Christ as if he just this humble, person that you can just slap around and things like that. And they give a weak image of Christ with the Christian church. But if you understand who Christ really is, even from the Old Testament, as the angel of the Lord, he is the angel, he's that warring angel. He's the angel that's leading the wrath of God. He's the angel that's going to lead the wrath of God upon his return. That means he's going to be the one that's going to destroy the nations that's coming against God's people. And the nations that's against God, period. He's going to actually lead a slaughter against them.
And the wicked of God's people. Because guess what? The house of God. And guess what? The wicked that the Israelites that didn't put the blood on the doorpost, what happened to them? The angel of the Lord killed them too. Because they was disobedient.
So this is the real picture of who Christ really is. He's not this weak person that you see in that 8x10 frame. That, you know what I'm saying? That's looking like, he just, everybody come unto me. I don't need whatever you want to do, you can do. If you want to break the Most High's laws, that's okay. No, that's not the real picture of Christ.
Exactly.
The real picture of Christ is he just showed you right here. He will not pardon you for breaking the Most High's law.
And for my name is in him, the Most High said. Read the last verse.
But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries.
The Most High gonna bless them that bless us and curse them that curse us if we obey Christ's word. That's what that means. All right now. That's the end of the reading of the law. Thank you, young men. We appreciate y'all. Covet not, trust not in uncertain riches. We're going to start at Isaiah 26:1. Covet not, trust not in uncertain riches. In uncertain riches. Uncertain riches. $26. Yep.
Make sure y'all washing your hands. When you grab anything off the table.
26:1. Isaiah 26:1.
Isaiah 26:1. In that day shall this song be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city, salvation with the Most High, a point for walls and bulwarks.
Now that Old Testament word there, that Hebrew word for salvation is Yasha. Right there. Read that again, the 26, the first verse.
In that day shall this song be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city, salvation with the Most High, a point for walls and bulwarks.
Yashaya will the Most High appoint to be our salvation. Yeshaya will be our protector in that day when he returns. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee.
Covet not, trust not in uncertain riches. That's the title. Thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. All right. So we gotta, you remember there was a song. What was old boy? What was his name? DJ MC Breed. Remember that? I got my mind on my money. Money on, that was Tupac, right? That was wicked. That was straight up wicked, because the Most High told us he'll keep them in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on him. Those whose mind is stayed on their money, they ain't in peace. They always thinking of how to protect or get more. So they're never in peace. Come on, man.
Verse 3. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Jehovah,
Ahaya. Say it
is
right.
everlasting strength.
That's right. Ain't no strength in Yahweh.
For he bringeth down them that dwell on high, the lofty city.
So hold on. He bringeth down those who dwell on high. He bringeth down those that dwell on high, because with gain comes some sort of what? Pride. And that's not for everybody. But some people can handle it. They can be spiritual and still hold on to some money. But the majority can't. Go ahead.
He layeth it low. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it even to the dust. The foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor, and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness. Thou must upright, thus weigh the paths of the just.
That's right. The most upright. What does say? Thou most upright. The Most High does weigh the way of the just. So the Most High is constantly judging our ways. Proverbs 11:28.
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 28. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch.
Covet not, trust not in uncertain riches. Read right quick. Look at the next page here. Read the fourth verse on 11:4. Proverbs 11:4.
Proverbs verse 11, verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death.
You
going?
Go ahead, yeah.
The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness.
Go ahead.
The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness.
So the righteousness of the upright shall deliver them. That's right. Let's do Psalms 49:1.
Psalms chapter 49, verse 1. Hear this, all ye people, give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor, together. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline mine ear to a parable. I will open my dark saying upon the heart. Wherefore shall I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heels shall compass me about? They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can be by any means redeem his brother, nor give the Most High a ransom for him.
So everybody boasting, everybody that boasts in their riches and their wealth, none of them can redeem his brother. None of us can redeem our brothers. That's Christ's job. None, and it says not nor give to the Most High a ransom for him. Yashaya paid a ransom with his life for us. Go ahead.
For the redemption, verse 8, for the redemption of their soul is precious, and it ceases forever, that he should still live forever and not see corruption.
Mhm.
For he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others.
Because they'll die, and guess what? Somebody else will take their riches. And the example I can give you is, when these entertainers, they sign these contracts and they make the money, right? But right before they die, they get played out of their contracts and wind up turning their money over to a whole nother people. Go ahead.
Verse 11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
So, but they was thinking while they was living that they was gonna pass all that down to their children. It was gonna live forever. That's what they thought. Go ahead.
And their dwelling places to all generations.
And they was gonna pass their estates down to their children. They thought that. Go ahead.
They call their lands after their own names.
Mhm. Jump down to 16.
Verse 16, be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased.
Mhm.
For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away.
Mhm.
His glory shall not descend after him.
And see, you see the Most High, he show you what the glory is, what people consider glory. Glory is their riches and the things that they've accumulated in this earth. That's what the glory is. So when you read that in the New Testament, you can go back in the Old Testament and understand what it's talking about. Go ahead, 18.
18. Though while he lived, he blessed his soul, and men will praise thee when thou doest well to thyself.
So the rich folks get praise. Everybody talk about it. A lot of times fame come from riches. Go ahead, 19.
19. He shall go to the generation of his fathers, they shall never see light.
Mhm.
Man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beasts that perish.
So a man that's in honor, like most of the celebrities, you can't stop hearing a lot of them when you turn on the TV. So these people have honor but no understanding. And the Most High said they like beasts that perish. That's it. Because what? Beasts, an animal just live his life, do what an animal does and die. And leave nothing behind of substance. Deuteronomy 8 and 11. Deuteronomy 8 and 11. Hey, Mike, what you got there? What that say? Usury? Oh, dang, I overlooked that. I'm looking over there now, though, man. If you got something, put it in the chat. That'll be cool. Deuteronomy 8 and 11.
Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 11. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God, and not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Now, the first scripture we read was Isaiah 26. And in the third verse, it tell you that he would keep us in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on him. Now we reading here about forgetting them. Where we at? 12?
Verse 12. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied. Then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Most High, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the houses of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee, to do thee good at thy later end. And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of mine hand have gotten me this wealth.
So so what'll happen is we get puffed up and say, I got me this wealth. I did this. Don't get the Most High his credit. Go ahead.
Verse 18, but thou shalt remember the Most High, for it is he that giveth thee the power to get wealth.
So the Most High gave us these gifts and understanding to be able to go out and get it. For what though? Read.
That he may establish his covenant.
So that he may establish his covenant. So we supposed to be taking what we receive and putting into the Most High, into his ministry, into his people. Go ahead.
Which he sware unto the fathers, as it is this day. It shall be, if thou do at all forget the Most High, and walk after other gods, and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day, and ye shall surely perish.
Because guess what? It ain't no in between. Either you worshiping the Most High or you dealing with Satan. Period. And the thing is, it's not a light thing to esteem something higher than the Most High. It's not a light thing. And we do it all the time. It don't have to just be with our riches or our money. We do it with everything. All right. The first thought when we wake up in the morning should be to thank the Most High. Who roll over and pick their phone up first? Most people do. You know, the first thought we should be thinking in our mind is thank you, because we could have died in our sleep. We got another chance. We should be thanking the Most High as soon as we wake up.
Precept to that Deuteronomy, Jeremiah 2.
I was about to. Oh no, you want to 2? No, get it. Go ahead. You got it. No, because I wasn't about to get that one. I was going to 17.
Start at, chapter 2, verse 13. For my people have committed 2 evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living water, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. So you got to understand, he just talks about him being our God and giving us everything, providing for us. But we can forget him and start, developing idols in our minds, whether it be our riches, our might, or whatever it is we think we have that we take pride in. Those are not the things that's keeping us alive, but the Most High is keeping us alive. So when he said, my people committed 2 evils, they forsook him. And then they even hewed out for themselves broken systems. That means they didn't begin to worship idols or start putting their trust in things that can't even benefit them. This is what I say when we say hewed out broken cisterns. That means he's our living fountain. And these things that we put in our trust in can't even hold water. So they can't even hold water, they can't even sustain life for us.
That's right.
So that's it. Well, actually, I started at 13, and I really was gonna go back to 9 through 12. So go ahead. We say, like I said, 11, have the nation change their gods, which are yet no gods,
Israel
but my
did.
people have changed their glory for that which do not profit.
Hey, I'm glad you went there. Because that's perfect for where we're going. I'm glad. Let me read real quick Jeremiah 17:4. Grab that real quick. Jeremiah 17:4. Matter of fact, we'll get that later. Let's get Deuteronomy 32. 32 and 9. I'm glad you went there, man. That's perfect, a perfect transition. 32 and 9. We're working our way up to Christ, up to the gospel.
Deuteronomy chapter 39,
32,
32,
verse 9.
verse 9. For the Most High's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Of his inheritance. We're the Most High's inheritance. Israel is the lot of the Most High's inheritance. Go ahead.
He found him in a desert.
And hold
land.
on, that word inheritance right there, whenever you read that word is heritage. So whenever you see heritage also, inheritance and heritage are the same words. Yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 10. He found him in a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye.
Mhm.
As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them of her wings.
Mhm.
So the Most High alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him.
Exactly. And I'm glad you went to where you went, because this is where we transitioning into. We transitioning into when you begin to trust in riches or anything else outside the Most High, you giving yourself over to another God. That's what we're going with. Go ahead.
13. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields. And he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock,
Mhm.
butter of kine, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs
Mhm.
and rams of the breed of Bashan,
Mhm.
and goats with the fat of kidneys of wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape.
So we was drinking good wine, eating good food. We was living good when we was dealing with the Most High, when we follow him and we kept him as the apple of our eye, like he do us. We was living good. We had everything we needed. But guess what? 15.
But
Jeshurun is another name for Israel. Go ahead.
But Jeshurun waxed fat.
We got fat. We like, oh man, we living good, we straight. I don't need nothing. We got fat. And guess what we began? To get proud and puffed up against the Most High. I did this. We did this. We Israel. Forgetting the Most High. Go ahead.
But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxing fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook the Most High, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
And lightly esteemed the rock of our salvation. The rock of our salvation, the Most High. Christ is our salvation. The Most High is our salvation. We lightly esteem the Most High and begin to esteem other things outside of the Most High. And this is why we fail. As a whole, now we speaking about our nation right here, but we're gonna go into the individual. We also gonna deal with the spirit behind the global financial system, because it's a spirit, it's a God behind it. Go ahead.
16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger.
Sorry. Yeah, with abominations, with strange gods. That's an abomination. That's filth to the Most High. Strange gods. These guys did nothing for us. But we esteem those guys and those things higher than what we esteem the rock of our salvation. And guess what? We're his portion. We his inheritance. That's like, we like literally his children. The Most High. We his people. and we went out on him and started following him. That's like having a father at the house. This my dad right here. Then going to some other man's house like, no, this is my daddy too. Yeah, you ain't doing that in my house. You go over there with him then. If that's your daddy. Come on.
17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
The newest God, Allah. Allah. You got our God, you got our brothers in the NOI, the Nation of Islam, worshiping this God that they just found out about in the 6th century when Muhammad was born. That's new. That's a new God. You're trying to bring us a new God and expect us to, well, we do it. We do it. Look at the Nation of Islam. Our people is in there. That's a harlot house, according to the Most High. We ain't supposed to be in there. And they know it. They know it. The Nation of Islam under my Farrakhan, Mike sent me a video the other day. They know that they the children of Israel. They know. Exactly. So how could you follow a foreign God understanding that you the children of Israel? Where we at? Let's get it.
18.
Uh-huh.
Of the rock that begot thee that are unmindful. And
Unmindful. Remember, he that keepeth his mind on him, what is that? He will keep him at perfect peace. That's right. He will keep him at perfect peace who keep his mind stayed on him. We became unmindful of the rock that begot us, the Most High. Go ahead.
And has forgotten the Most High that formed thee. And when the Most High saw it, he abhorred them.
He hated us. The Most High hated us when he seen that. He's like, ugh, get out my house, roll out, get out of here. Go ahead.
Because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters.
And because of the provoking of his sons and daughters, because when we bring guys into the house, our children cling on to those guys that we gave, those customs that we passed down, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter. Our children cleave on to those things and they become generational curses. You got it? Bring it.
The wicked shall be turned into hell, and the nations that forget the Most High. 17.
Go ahead, 20.
Oh, you hear Deuteronomy?
Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see that their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation. Children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not the Most High. They have provoked me to anger with their vanity, and will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
So the Most High said he gonna move us to jealousy with those who are not a people, another nation. Go ahead, read.
I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
So he put fools over us. The Most High put fools over us because what? We wanted to turn away from him. All right, so no. 16. Yeah, I got 17. Oh, you talking about where it say and when my people come and ask you. Yeah. No, I ain't got that. Because I was trying to go into the spirit behind it. The spirit behind, with us dealing with not trusting in the Most High. Jeremiah 17:4. Read that real fast. No, that we ain't gonna get that now. We're gonna say that. My bad. We're gonna read that farther down. Exodus 32:1. Exodus 32:1.
Exodus chapter 32, verse 1.
Mhm.
And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him.
So the last scripture we just read, it said children in where there's no faith. Moses went up. This is Moses in the wilderness going into the mountain to receive the commandments. All right, to receive the law. It took longer than what our people expected for him to come down. So we like, hey, we don't know what happened to him. God must have killed him. So let's make us some gods to worship. All right. Go ahead.
Verse
And
2.
Aaron, by the way, if y'all, for those that don't know, is Moses' brother. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people break off the golden earrings, which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf.
Made a molten calf. This molten calf is a god being worshipped today. Still into this day, this molten calf is being worshipped. All right, now we going here for a reason. Because there's a spirit. Yeah, but that's the. Now that right there is on Wall Street. All right, you're right. That's the symbol for Merrill Lynch. All right. Yep. They would burn children. They did child sacrifice to this god too. That's why so many children come up missing in the US and nobody ever find it. Because this is their God. This is who's being worshipped on high levels and circles within the United States and all over the world. But come on, let's where we at?
Oh, here.
Yeah. You can keep that up.
Verse 4.
Mhm. Verse 4.
Yeah. After he had made it to molten calf, and they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
So no soon as the Most High did all of the miracles he did for us in the land of Egypt, freed us, brought us into the wilderness, now he's sending Moses up into the mountain to receive the law. No soon as all of those things happen, right then we worshiping another God. Right then. We seen all of those things. Our people witnessed all of those things that the Most High brought forth that he did when he brought us forth out of the land of Egypt. And we still turned no soon as we got into the wilderness. No soon. So what can, honestly, truthfully, with these people, what can we say to them to make them believe the Most High? Nothing. It got to be the Most High that choose and bring forth. So we can just bring the word, but that's it. That's all we can do. Our people rebellious. Go ahead.
5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it.
Mhm.
And Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast of the Most High.
Just disrespecting the Most High with this God, with this fallen God. Come on.
And they rose up early on the morning and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings.
And brought what?
Peace offering.
We don't need that. Why? Because if we keep our mind stayed on the Most High, he's promised to keep us peaceful, keep us in peace. So we had in the Old Testament a law for peace offerings, but the Most High don't require that of us. He just really wants us to keep our mind stayed on. Go ahead.
And the people sat down to eat and to drink, and rose up to play.
Go ahead. So they turned this into a holy day. Go ahead.
7. And the Most High said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly.
Quickly. We turned aside quickly. No sooner as Moses turned his back, we was bowing and worshiping another God, bowing to and worshiping another God. Go ahead.
They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them.
And that's the first commandment. Have no other gods before him. That's the first commandment. Go ahead.
They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And the Most High said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people.
We hard-headed. Our people, Israel, and this is one of the indicators of how you understand who we are. Look how hard-headed we are. Just look at our neighborhood where we come from, the neighborhoods where we come from, and look how hard-headed the people are. We almost hard-headed to the point of death. We are. Ain't no almost. We are hard-headed to the point of death. All right. Yeah, 10.
Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
So the Most High said, move out the way and let me kill all of them. And Moses, I'm gonna take you and make you a great nation. So the Most High was ready to kill us all. He like, I'm about to kill them. I sat here and did all these things for these people. And the first time they have to wait a little bit, they turn and follow another God. Patience. Out of patience. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And Moses besought the Most High and said, Lord, why does thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people.
Repent means to turn away. Turn away from this fierce evil against thy people. Go ahead.
Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidest unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And the Most High repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people.
So the Most High turned away from the evil that he thought to do. And people will go here like, how can God repent? Who will repent? No, that means to turn away. All right. And look, and this is why the Most High chose Moses. Moses was the meekest of all people. He was the meekest of all of our people. So that's why the Most High chose him. Had it been somebody else, they'd have been like, yeah, well, you know, they is wicked. Go ahead and kill them. And yeah, I can have a few wives and raise up a nation. But Moses like, no. It was a time where Moses would put himself on the line for our people. Huh? What's that, Luke? In your possession, that's right. Luke 21:19 says, in your patience possess ye your souls. We get impatient and we turn in ways that can lead us into hell. We at, go ahead. Keep reading. 15.
Yeah, 15. And Moses turned and went down from the mount, and the two tables of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other were they written. And the tables were the word of the Most High. And the writing was the writing of the Most High.
Hold up now. Because they say, where y'all get that book from? Where y'all get them laws from? It's the writing of the Most High. The law is the writing of the Most High. But that's done away with. Go ahead. That's what they say.
And the writing was the writing of the Most High, graven upon the table. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted and said unto Moses, there is a noise of war in the camp. And he said, it is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither it is the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear.
So they down there partying. They can hear Moses and Joshua can hear them all the way up in the mountain. They partying, they getting it in. They got the music going, they sipping, they doing whatever. They fool. They down here fooling. Go ahead.
19. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, he saw the calf.
The calf, that's right. He saw that idol.
And the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot. And he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made and burnt it in the fire and ground it into powder and strawed it upon the water and made the children of Israel drink of it. And Moses said unto Aaron, what did these people unto thee? Wait, what did this people unto thee that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people, that they are set on mischief.
We set on mischief. We got our mind set on it. We made, it's where we at. That's our people. Go ahead.
And Aaron said, let not the anger of, 23, for they said unto me, make us gods, which shall go before us.
Which shall go before us. Now the Most High is the God that goes before and fights for us, fights for our nation. It's him. So we making them jealous before we even get out the wilderness. We ain't even received the land yet. Go ahead.
For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. And I said unto them, whosoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it, then they gave it me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf.
And understand, they used gold because gold was highly esteemed in those days. All right, now this calf that's being worshiped, we're going to go into scripture showing that this calf's relation to Baal or Baal. But right now, let's go to Baal and the dragon. Baal and the dragon, that's in the Apocrypha. In the Apocrypha, Baal and the dragon. I'm going to show, right now, this is where we see this God being worshiped by our people in the wilderness. All right, this is a God that they knew from the land of Egypt. All right, and Egypt was what? The highest empire at that time. Now this God get passed down from empire to empire, and this is the God worship. All right, let's go here. Baal and the dragon. You got start at the 3rd verse.
Baal of the dragon. verse 3.
Number 22.
Oh, 22.
No, 222.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the Babylonians had an idol called Baal,
Mm.
and there were spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. And the king worshipped it, and went daily to adore it. But Daniel worshipped his own God.
Mhm.
And the king said unto him, why doest not thou worship Baal? Who answered and said, because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living God, who hath created the heaven and the earth, and has sovereignty over all flesh. Then said the king unto him, thinkest thou not that Baal is a living God? Seest thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day?
So this guy is, it's so sad to hear this. This guy really deceived.
Mm.
He thinking this idol is eating the food that gets set before him daily. All right. This is what he thinking. And it's crazy because people, it's foolishness in worshiping these other gods. And you can break down and explain to the people the foolishness in it, and they'll still follow that God because it's a spirit that attaches itself to you. All right, go ahead.
5. Who answered and said, because I may not worship idols. Okay. 6. Then said the king unto him, thinkest thou not Baal is a living God? Seest thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day? Then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within and brass without, and did never eat or drink anything.
Ain't drunk nothing.
So the king was wroth and called for his priests and said unto them, if ye tell me not who this is that devoureth these expenses, ye shall die.
So tell me, if you can't tell me who eating this food in front of this idol, you gonna die. If you set this food here and by the morning it ain't gone, you finna die. That's what the king saying to his priest, the priest of Baal. Go ahead.
But if he can certify me that Baal devoureth them, then Daniel shall die.
And not only that, Baal, okay, this God Baal is Satan. Any kingdom that you see on high, that's living in his rulership, that's ruling, this is the God being worshipped in that kingdom. Go ahead.
For he has spoken blasphemy against Baal. And Daniel said unto the king, let it be according to thy word. Now the priests of Baal were 70, were 70, beside their wives and children. And the king went with Daniel into the temple of Baal. So Baal's priest said, lo, we go out. But thou, O king, set on the meat and make ready the wine and shut the door fast.
So look, they telling him to shut the door fast. They like, put the meat there and set the wine there and then hurry up and get out. That's what the priest telling the king, like he just a dummy. Go ahead.
And seal it with thine own signet.
And put and signet with thine own signet. So seal the door and make sure the king's sign is on that door so can't nobody come in. Go ahead.
And tomorrow, when thou comest in, if thou findest not the Baal hath eaten up all, we will suffer death. Or else Daniel, that speaketh falsely against us. And they little regarded it, for under the table they had made a private entrance.
A private entrance under the table of Baal. So they can come in and eat the food or do whatever they do with it, throw it away, and then act as though Baal ate the food. This is what they was doing, the priest was doing to deceive the people into worshiping this fallen God. Go ahead. This is in the Apocrypha, that blue book there is Baal and the Dragon. It's right before, what's that there, Maccabees. The book right before Maccabees. I don't know, what verse we at?
We had 14. We had 13.
I'm just going here to show Baal being worshiped. I'm just going here to show this God being worshiped. Right now, y'all don't even know that this golden calf is Baal. All right, this is the God that's being worshiped in this kingdom. This is the Persian kingdom. All right, the Persians had their rule and they had our people in slavery. All right, Daniel was a servant. Daniel was a servant to the king. All right, so this is Daniel having a conversation with Darius, I believe, King Darius. And Darius is believing that this God is, this idol is actually eating the food that was given to it. All right.
I'll read 13.
Mhm.
And they little regarded it, for under the table they had made a private interest, whereby they entered in continually and consumed those things. So when they were gone forth, the king set meats before Baal. Now Daniel had commanded his servants to bring ashes, and those they strewed throughout all the temple in the presence of the king alone. Then went they out and shut the door and sealed it with the king's signet, and so departed. Now in the night came the priests with their wives and children, as they were wont to do, and did eat and drink of all.
So they was like, we about to eat good. They seen them putting that food down. He like, put that wine down too. Yeah, because when we come back in here, we about to get it in. They done bought the priest done bought their family in there. All of them in there eating this food and claiming that it's the idol eating. Go ahead.
15. Now in the night came the priests with their wives and children, as they want to do, and did eat and drink up all. In the morning bedtime, the king arose, and Daniel with him. And the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, yeah, O king, they be whole. And
Is the seal still on the door? Yeah, they still on the door. Remember, they got a trap door under the table. So they can get in even with the door sealed by the king. So they like, yeah, the door sealed. Don't even worry about it. Go ahead.
And as soon as he had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, great art thou, O Baal,
Wow.
and with thee is no deceit at all.
Then
Then laughed Daniel.
so Daniel laughing. He like, man, I can't believe you that gullible. He like, dog, go ahead.
Then laughed Daniel and held the king that he should not go in, and said, behold, now the pavement, and mark well whose footsteps are these.
Now he's seeing he looking down like, look at the footprints. King, you don't see them footprints? Go ahead.
And the king said, I see the footsteps of the men, women, and children.
Men, women, and children.
And then the king was angry.
So the king like, hold up, somebody was in here. How y'all get in here? It's footprints. Tell me y'all wasn't in here. Go ahead. Somebody was in here. That's right.
And took the priests with their wives and children, and shewed him in the privy doors.
So now the priest, he done went and grabbed the priest. Like, how y'all, it's footprints in here. How the footprints get in here? They done showed him the door. Oh, this is the door. This is how we get in. We eat, we bring our families in here, and we just, thanks for the wine. You know, 70 priests and they families. So that was a huge meal they put down
For
there.
real.
They thinking about, you thinking that,
Thanksgiving.
my goodness. Go ahead.
And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. And then the king was angry, and took the priests with their wives and children, who showed him the privy door, where they came in and consumed such things as were upon the table. Therefore the king slew them, and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple.
There we go. So Baal was destroyed during that time. The idol. Okay, because the king, Daniel showed the king, like, nah, this ain't, y'all on some bull. All right. So now I was just going there to show him this God being worshiped in the highest kingdom on the earth at this time. Okay, because this is what happens. From every empire that's on high, this is the God that's being worshiped. And they coax the rest of the nations to actually dabble in this worship. Let's go to Babylon now. Go to Jeremiah 50:1. And tore down Tivus idols. What was they worshiping then? What God was that? Jeremiah 50:1. Now Babylon, now this ancient Babylon here, this was the kingdom before the Persians ruled, directly before the Persians ruled. But this is a future prophecy right here we're getting ready to read. Jeremiah 50. 50:1.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 1. The word that the Most High spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet.
Now that Chaldeans right there is sorcerers, the land of sorcerers. All right, go ahead.
Declare ye among the nations and publish and set upon a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces.
So Merodach and Baal are the gods being worshipped in Babylon. These are the high gods being worshipped in Babylon. And the Most High said they're taken. This is a prophecy of when the Most High take down Babylon. Go ahead.
3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. There shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast.
So man and beast, everything is going to be destroyed out of the land of Babylon. All right, now let's real quick, let's find out what this Baal right here. Yeah, screen share. That Merodach, get Merodach. Merodach. Now, can you go back? Just to show, not just click back on the arrow. Yeah. All right, now bam, you see that's Merodach. That's the same Merodach, if y'all can see. That's the same Merodach right here in the second verse, Jeremiah 50:2. Now you see it say Baal Merodach right there. Click on this Baal. Baal Merodach. All right. Murdoch. It says a Sumerian calf of the sun, solar calf. This is the calf. This is the golden calf image that was being worshipped in the wilderness. They just passed this God down from generation to generation. Okay, with this God, this is the God of riches. This God is still being worshiped to this day. Let me go down real quick. Let me show y'all something. Can I go down? Can you go down? Go down. You see here where it say Jupiter? You see Jupiter there? All the way to the right, under that image, Jupiter. Whenever you see Jupiter, that's Jove. Jove is Satan. Whenever you see that, that's the devil. That's Satan. Jupiter is a Roman god. Same guy here. This is the God that grants riches. Let's see it. Let's go to Matthew 4:8. Yeah. Jove, Jove. Jove. Yeah, Jupiter is Jove. That's Satan. Yeah. Let's stop saying. Matthew 4 and 8.
Matthew chapter
So
4.
this the spirit. We exposing the spirit behind the global financial system. This system in our modern times was built how? Off of piracy, captivity, take down and take over. That's how it was built. The first exchange on Wall Street was what? Slaves, Negroes. Those were the first. Yes, that's right. And that system was built on that. That's Satan's system. Satan's system was built on this. Let's get it. Matthew 4 and 8.
Matthew chapter 4, verse 8.
Now, this is Satan coming to tempt Christ after Christ's baptism. After Christ's baptism, he went and he fasted 40 days and 40 nights. Now you got the tempter, Satan, coming to tempt him. Let's see what he tempted him with.
Again, the devil taketh him up into the exceeding high mountain and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world.
So he's showing him all the kingdoms of the world. Go ahead.
And the glory of them.
And the glory of them, the riches within these kingdoms. And what he say?
And saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
So he said, I'm gonna give you rulership over all of these kingdoms. And guess what? Satan got the power to do it, because through Adam's fall, he gained control of the world. Job 9 and 24 tell you. That's right. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right, so read that again. Yeah.
Verse 8, again, the devil taketh him up into the exceeding high mountain and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
So he desired to be praised, just like Isaiah 14 and 12 tell us. He said he'd be like the Most High. And guess what? He's accomplishing praise. He's receiving praise. He's getting it. All right, and it's crazy when we can read this right here and see that he desires for us to bow to him and he'll give us riches and glory and things of that sort. But we doubt it when we tell you your favorite singers, rappers, entertainers, sports figures, whoever they may be, have bowed and took what Christ rejected. We'll find that odd. That ain't odd. That's how these people getting their riches. Go ahead, read. They worship Baal.
Verse 10, then saith Yashaya unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
And see, the same thing happened in Baal and the dragon. Daniel told the king. The king didn't even understand that he was coming in the spirit of Satan to try to get Daniel to turn. He didn't understand it. But Daniel told him, hey, man, I worship the living God. I don't deal with what y'all dealing with. All right. So let's go to Matthew 12 and 22. Matthew 12 and 22.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 22. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw.
So Christ just healed a blind person right here. Somebody who was blind and dumb, meaning he couldn't speak. He was deaf and blind. Go ahead.
And all the people were amazed and said, is not this the son of David?
Mm-hmm.
But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, this fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils.
So the prince of darkness, the prince of the devils, Beelzebub, is who he's casting out devils in. Real quick, let's read this here. Read Beelzebub for me. And we still proving that this God Baal is Satan. And this is going to show also. Go ahead, just read it.
Definition of Beelzebub. Name Baal.
Name what?
Baal.
So that's the same God that was being worshipped back in Babylon. All right. So this is Baal. Read.
Or Lord of Flies.
Lord of Flies. Go ahead.
Name under which Baal was worshipped by the Philistines of Ekron.
So this is a Philistine god from way back. All right, it's from way back. So when it was being worshipped under the Persians, that means it had to be passed down to them. And now they're speaking of Beelzebub here in the New Testament. Go ahead. Hey, Carrie, can you get G954 for me? You got that?
G954.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It says 2 Kings 1, 2, 3, 6, 16.
Just read the words, yeah.
Okay. Ahaziah consulted him to find out whether he should recover from his illness, and was therefore rebuked by Elijah. There can be little doubt that Beelzebub is the same name as
Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
That's right. Baal and Baal. So when you see B-E-L or B-A-A-L, that's the same God. It's the same God. They try to make us believe that God means my husband. So they would try to make it, so they'll try to attribute praise of the Most High to Baal or Baal, Satan, because he desired praise. Go ahead.
The Greek text, however, has Beelzebul, just how these changes in spelling took place in a matter of conjecture. Conjecture. Beelzebub is
the what?
Beelzebub is the prince of the demons.
The prince of demons. That's Satan. That's Satan.
Read that like first part how they change stuff.
The Greek text, however, has Beelzebul, just how these changes in spelling took place is a matter of conjecture.
But see, that was deception. That didn't have nothing to do with no conjecture.
So
Yeah.
what he just said, I want you to get this. He said Beelzebul, Beelzebul, Baal, Baal, Baalim. They changed his name. He just got many names. Lucifer, Satan, El Shaitan. He got all types of.
You got it? You got that? Come on. We good with
So I
that.
got, in the book, it says G954,
Uh-huh.
Beelzebub, which is Beelzebub, Lord Baal of the Flies.
Where's it from? Where did it derive from? It's a number on there?
Other one from Chaldee origin,
Uh-huh.
Beelzebub. And then it also says Beelzebub, a name of Satan.
Kabang, a name of Satan. So Baal is Satan. These nations that are in power get their power from Satan. All of them. So what we just read, those nations in power, even our people in the wilderness, when they was bowing down to that golden calf, that was Satan.
I got another, some more information on it from the Britannica.
Come on.
We translate back from that Marduk.
Yeah.
In Mesopotamian religion, the chief god of the city of Babylon and the national god of Babylonia, such as he was eventually called simply Baal or Lord. So when people try to say that, oh, it just means Lord or Baal, right here, they're telling you this is that same God, and he was eventually called Baal, simply Baal or Lord. Then it goes on to say, after conquering the monster of primeval chaos, Tiamat, he became Lord of the gods of heaven and earth.
Kabang.
So that's why when we read, we don't say Lord, we say Lord. Most High.
And you can't let nobody fool you into thinking like, oh, it just means Lord, because they give the full description of who he really is. Because you remember, Satan, just like Esau, hide under different names in different places. So Satan's doing the same thing. He's
And that's
hiding under different names in different areas.
That's
different,
right.
Countries and provinces.
Now let's hear Christ say it. You done? Y'all done? All right, let's hear Christ say it. Let's finish what we read.
25.
Come on.
And Yashaya knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand.
So if we be divided against ourselves, Israel, which we are, because it's so many different divisions and devices to divide us, we can't stand. This is why we can't stand, because we separate ourselves within these different religions, following these other gods. So how can me understanding that I'm Israel who follows Christ, how can I join hands with somebody who follows another God and think that we're gonna prosper? It won't work. Go ahead, let's get it right quick. I know I went off. Go ahead.
26. And if Satan cast out Satan.
So Beelzebub, they said he cast out demons in the name of Beelzebub. So Christ knew that Beelzebub was who? Satan. He said what? Read it again.
And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
So how can any of Satan's kingdom stand if he be divided? And like we just went into, he come with all of these different names to make you believe you choosing a God when all them guys fall under him. Anyway.
And that's why they all got a problem with the name of Christ and not each other.
Exactly. Go ahead.
27. And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges.
Come on.
But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of the Most High, then the kingdom of the Most High is come unto you. Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except the first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house?
So how can you break into a man's house? Why? Because these demons look for a body, a host. So Christ is saying, how can I go into the spirit and remove this person from the body without first binding Satan? I can't do that. Go ahead.
Some people used to twist that around thinking that the strong man was Christ. When really the strong man is the demons that's holding the person, and Christ is breaking into it, relieving the person of the demon.
God. Go ahead.
29. 30. He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattered abroad.
Kabang. So he that is with Christ is with him. But whoever ain't with him, scattered. So we either doing one or two things. We either gathering or we scattering. What are we doing? What are we doing in our work? All right. So now, y'all understand that Satan is Baal, right? This is the God that people worship for money, for fame, for rulership, for riches, because it's his to give. Until Christ come in and what? Take it back. Go ahead.
Straighten one thing out. So when it comes to all of these different cartoons and animes that y'all looking at, you got to understand these names are really the other names of Satan and demons that's been passed off to y'all under just a cloud of, oh, it's innocent because it's just cartoons and just make believe. But these are our actual names borrowed from other regions of the world that the people in those regions know exactly well who it is, but they know we don't know. So that's why y'all gotta be mindful of that when y'all looking at all this stuff, and y'all taking all this stuff in, falling asleep watching it, and all that kind of stuff. It's getting seared in y'all conscience, and it's against Christ. It's against the Most High.
Satan don't care how you worship him, knowingly or unknowingly.
Hitler got a thing where he said, if he could give him the music of a nation's youth, and he'll control that nation. Because that means eventually putting stuff into y'all conscience while y'all kids, y'all growing up ignorant to what it really means. But then y'all growing up to be the future leaders. So when y'all grow up to be the future leaders, now y'all ignorant of the word of God, but y'all in y'all subconscious, y'all got all this other stuff in there that's things of Satan. And so now it's easily to manipulate children. So when they grow up, they growing up and they just reproducing the customs of Satan all over again. That's why we like we are now, and even in America. Starting off, they had some kind of morals, even though they claimed that America was developed founded on the word of God. It wasn't. But still, as a whole, the nation had some kind of morals. But now as time went on, the children grew up and it became more and more wicked. This is why we go back to Psalms 9 and 17. Woe to, well, the nation that forget God should return to him.
And that also applies to our generation as well, because we brought up
All generations.
you know, all the R&B, all the, you know, we grew up on all of that stuff.
So the main thing is, you got to understand that Satan's hiding under different names, plain and simple.
I've been reading this week, Testament of Solomon. That the Testament of Solomon, it gives all of these what angels are controlled by. I've literally been telling her the same thing for the last years. But there's names in these TV shows, but you got the Matrix, the Morpheus, that's about. Or Optimus Prime, Artemis, and all these different names like these guys, and we don't even know it. Like,
A lot of them from Eastern religions that we just don't know about. You know?
All right, so now we just dealt with, first we dealt with us trusting in the Most High, right? We got the instructions that we're supposed to trust in the Most High. Then we went into us falling out of that trust and beginning to follow other gods. And we showed the God, we went into showing Baal and who he is, and actually showed our people fall into that God in the wilderness. That's the same God that we began to follow through all empires. We always failed to that God. All right. So now check it out. Now we dealt with that. So let's deal with individuals. Let's deal with us on an individual level. Let's go to Proverbs 13 and 22. We can get through this pretty fast.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just.
Now, real quick, if somebody can get me H5157, that's inheritance in the Hebrew, H5157. Because earlier I said that means heritage. Now I want you to see what it really means, so you don't just think I said it. So H5157, if somebody can grab that.
H5157, Nicole, a primitive root to inherit as a mode to occupy casualty, to have, to take as a heritage, to give.
Kabang, a heritage.
Yeah, to inherit.
A heritage to inherit. It's your heritage.
It's in the right. KJV usage, inherit, inheritance, possess.
Correct.
Or possession.
Exactly. So now we got that. So now let's go to Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus 17 and 10. All right. Read that one more time before we go there. But y'all can grab Sirach 17 and 10. What you say? Apocrypha. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Proverbs 13, verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just.
All right. Now we take things at face value when we read the scriptures, right? But we got to study to show ourselves approved. We must study all of the words. All right. So that word right there, Carrie just read that the inheritance means heritage. Let's show it. So Ecclesiasticus 17 and 10, 9, right? 10. Ecclesiasticus 17 and 10.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 17, verse 10. The elect shall praise his holy name.
So the elect Israel shall praise the Most High's holy name. Go ahead.
Beside this, he gave them knowledge
He gave us knowledge
and the law of life for his heritage.
and a law of life for his heritage. So when you read that scripture where it says a good man passes an inheritance unto his children's children, that's speaking of the law. That's the wisdom of the Most High. That's in the law. All right. That heritage is inheritance. Get Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Deuteronomy 6 and 4.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Most High is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Most High with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart.
Now what he just read, the 5th and the 6th verse, that's what Christ told Israel in the New Testament. Right? But they'll tell you that, you just follow Christ's commandments. That's all you got to do, without really specifying what he meant when he said that. It's in the Old Testament. All you got to do is go back and read it. Go ahead. I bet it took me a minute to get there.
7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt.
That's it. So this is what we supposed to teach our children. This is the heritage or inheritance that we to pass down to our children. Because why? We ain't finna receive anything of any monetary gain or substance without Christ. Christ's gonna return and restore all of that to us. All right, you notice even if you look at America, every nation receives some sort of reparations for their work, except for us. We won't receive it. Ours come with Christ. That's why we haven't received anything, because Christ is the man that's going to give it to us. All right. Okay. Ecclesiastes in the Bible, 7 and 11. We should go through these scriptures pretty fast here. Let's get these out the way.
Ecclesiastes.
In the Bible, Ecclesiastes 7 and 11. No, it's right before Isaiah. It's before Isaiah, y'all. Ecclesiastes 7 and 11.
Proverbs, and Song of Solomon.
Yeah. Check. 7 and 11.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 11. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. For wisdom is a defense.
So wisdom is a defense. Understanding wisdom is a defense. It's a spiritual defense. We less likely to fall into snares with wisdom. Go ahead.
And money is a defense.
And money is a defense. So money is not a bad thing. It's not bad to have some money. It ain't bad. It's a defense.
Go ahead. But excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
That's right. Wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Get Isaiah 33:5. We almost done, I promise. Ain't gonna take much
Can
long.
I get something real quick?
Come on.
Luke 7:35. It says, wisdom is justified of our children. You're going into an inheritance, and you only get inheritance by being a child.
God. That's the truth. Isaiah 33:5.
Isaiah chapter 33, verse 5. The Most High is exalted, for the dwelleth on high. For he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
So wisdom and knowledge is what'll keep us stable in the last days, in our time of trouble, in our afflictions, in our perils. It'll be wisdom and knowledge that keeps us stable. It won't be the riches of this world. Go ahead.
And strength of salvation. The fear of the Most High is his treasure.
The fear of the Most High is his treasure. All right. The fear of him is his treasure. We're supposed to be trying to store these things up in the heavens. Now let's go to 1 John 2:15. We're gonna find out. We're gonna go into some scriptures on how to in a second, how to store those treasures up. 1 John 2:15.
First John chapter 2, verse 15.
Mhm.
Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
That's right. Go ahead.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of the life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Mhm.
And the world passes away and the lust thereof.
And the world will pass away and all in it. This world, this thing is going to burn. And all in it, everything will be tried in the fire. Everything will be tried in the fire. All right, so this world is going to pass away. Go ahead. 17.
And the world passes away and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever.
The will of the Most High is that we keep his commandments. So he that do the will of the Most High shall abide forever. Will be tried in the fire, but will make it. Or come out like pure gold. 1 Timothy 6. 1 Timothy 6. And 1. We don't got to start at 1. We can jump down. We can jump down to 6. Yeah.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. But godliness with the contentment is great gain.
But godliness, those that follow after the Most High and are content with that which they have, is great gain. It's great gain in that. Go ahead.
For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
We came in naked, and we leaving out naked. Come on.
And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
And with having food to eat and clothes on our back, we should be content. This don't even say nothing about having shelter over our head. It just say food and clothing, we should be content. We should be okay with that. As long as we got a meal and some clothes to put on our backs, we should be okay. Go ahead.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drawn men in destruction and perdition.
Because why? Because people who are rich got time on their hands a lot, right? And they got money, so they can do what they feel. And a lot of times you fall into what? Sin. See, if the Most High would make, if all of us was rich, right? The Most High purposely got us poor. Because if we was rich, we wouldn't hear him. We'd be out here doing whatever. Because we have the world will be at our fingertips. So in order for him to exercise us, he made us poor. Go ahead.
10. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
See, money ain't bad. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love. Because why? That's where you keep your mind stayed on that when you're in love with it. Your mind stayed on it. And you always constantly thinking how to keep or how to get more money. Go ahead.
Where your heart is where the treasure will be also.
And we reading that too.
Heart supposed to be most high.
God, and we reading that too. Go ahead.
For the love of money is the root of all evil,
Mhm.
which while some coveted after.
Covet not, trust not in uncertain riches. Go ahead.
They have erred
Mhm.
from the faith.
Yep.
From the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. But thou, O man of the Most High, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness.
These are instructions. These are instructions. Go ahead.
Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. I give thee charge in the sight of the Most High, who quickeneth all things, and before Christ, Yashaya, who before Pontius Pilate witness a good confession. Did I say that right?
Pontius. Yeah, Pilate. Yeah.
Witness a good confession. Thou shalt keep his commandment without spot, unrebukable, until the appearing of the Lord Yashaya.
So that's what we striving for. We striving to keep the Most High's commandment, to keep the commandments and be found blameless when he returns. Go ahead.
15, which in his times he shall shew, who is the blessed and only
Potentate.
the King of kings and the Lord of lords,
Mhm.
who only hath immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto, whom no man hath seen, nor can see, to whom be honor and power everlasting. Amen.
Go ahead.
Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded.
So command them that be rich in this world that they what?
Not be high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches.
Nor trust in uncertain riches. Read.
But in the living God.
But in a higher.
Who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. That they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate.
That they be rich in good works. That's what the Most High want us rich at, storing up our riches in the kingdom, in the heavens. He want us to be rich in good works, ready to distribute if we got it, willing to communicate. Go ahead.
Laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come.
So when we ask the Most High something, he'll open up and give it to us. Go ahead.
That they may lay hold on eternal life.
That they may lay hold on eternal life. These are instructions. These are instructions to the kingdom. Matthew 25 and 31. Matthew 25 and 31.
Matthew chapter 25, verse 31. when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats.
So we just charged to go teach the gospel. Christ is going to separate the nations. It ain't for me to say who you is and who you are. Oh, you this, you that. No, I don't know. Because people been mixing.
Yeah.
So I can lay a stumbling block before you talking about you Israel, and you may be down the line some mulatto. You know? All right, so Christ is going to separate the nations when he returns. We just supposed to go teach the gospel and baptize. Go ahead.
33. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungry, and ye gave me meat.
That's right.
I was thirsty, and he gave me drink. I was a stranger, and he took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, the Most High, when saw we thee and hungry and fed thee, or thirsty, or gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them,
and Yashaya will say unto us who finish and endure in this work, read.
Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
So this is what the Most High require of us. And especially those that got something. This is what he require of us. Matthew 6:19. And this is it. After this, we done. Matthew 6:19.
Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor dust corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
And we just read how to do that. We've been reading how to do that the whole time. Go ahead.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Exactly. Your heart is your mind. So where your treasure is where your mind will be. What do you treasure? What do you treasure? Do you treasure the things of this world, or do you treasure the world to come under the God that's bringing it? Which one do you treasure? Go ahead.
22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
And we got tunnel vision. We supposed to have tunnel vision towards the kingdom. Not being swayed this way or that way. Go ahead.
But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? No man can serve two masters.
So we can't be wavering. We got to have that focus. Focus solely on the Most High. Go ahead.
No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other.
And it's only two masters. It's a lot of different gods, but it's only two masters. Two. The Most High or Satan. Go ahead.
Or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon.
Go ahead.
Therefore I say to you, Take no thought of your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment?
Mhm.
Behold the fowls of the air,
So look at the birds of the air. Go ahead.
for they sow not,
Uh-huh.
neither do they reap,
So they don't plant nothing. Neither do they go out and harvest anything. Go ahead.
nor gather into barns.
Uh-huh.
Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them.
Yet every day the birds wake up and got something to eat, and they don't worry. Go ahead.
Are ye not much better than they? Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature?
Mhm. So which of you can add an inch to your stature? Which of you can say, I want to be taller, and you grow? You can't do it, can you? Go ahead.
And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider
So
the-
why you taking, don't even take thought in your clothes. And a lot of times we be like, man, I want them shoes, I want this, I want that. The Most High said, take no thought of that. This Christ. Christ said, take no thought in that. Go ahead.
and consider the lilies of the field,
So consider the lilies of the field. Look at the flowers of the field. Go ahead.
how they grow.
Mhm.
They toil not, neither do they spin.
They stay in one spot all day, every day. Go ahead.
And yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these.
Because Solomon, remember that word glory, what I told y'all is riches. Solomon and all his riches wasn't even arrayed like that. He wasn't even dressed like the flowers and the lilies of the field. Go ahead.
Wherefore, 30. Wherefore, if the Most High so clothes the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow it is cast into the oven.
So if the Most High clothe the flowers of the field and make them beautiful, and then next day they be burnt up by the sun, go ahead.
Shall he not much more clothe you?
So shall he not clothe us? Go ahead.
Or ye
Oh,
of
ye.
little faith?
That's right. Oh, ye of little
O
faith.
ye of little faith?
Mhm.
Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed?
Go ahead.
For after all these things do the Gentiles seek.
So the Gentiles, this is the Gentiles' mind state. They think of those things. They wonder for those things. We don't have to, because we got a God that provides for us. When the last time I worked, my sons? When the last time y'all seen me work? 2 years ago, right? All right. Go ahead.
For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things.
Mhm.
But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High.
But what?
But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High
But seek first the kingdom. Go ahead.
and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
And we'll get those things. We just got to be obedient to the Most High's word. And he'll put what we need in our path. He know what we need. But who got faith to walk like that? Who got faith to walk like that? Go ahead.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Judge not, that ye be not judged.
Oh, no. We done. My
Oh,
bad.
okay.
34. We was done. We was done. 34. Just read that again, because I was thinking of
Verse
something else.
34.
Uh-huh.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself.
And that go for me. Because when I be writing this stuff down, I be thinking I'm about to go and write this. I'm about to go and write that. I done wrote down 4 of these this week, thinking I'm finna put that one out. But then woke up this morning and the Most High like, nah, you're gonna do this one. And this is what I came up with. Oh yeah, come. James 4:4, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of this world is enmity with the Most High. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of the Most High. All praises to the Most High on this Sabbath day. Shabbat Shalom. That's all we got.
Yes. It was a couple of but to agree. One of them was the guy one, where it talked about how we trying to build our houses instead of the house of the Most High. And we be trying to fill voids in our life that we can't fill without the Most High. So you would have somebody that over, they trying to be happy, or they want to feel happy. Instead of going to the Most High, he might be going to not do anything. Get yourself on self-control, to have self-control of yourself. It doesn't not about the children of things. That Ecclesiastes.
And that's something too, because the house of the Most High is us. You know what I'm saying? We be trying to build up all of these material things instead of building up ourselves, eliminating things that building up ourselves, eliminating things that we know is contrary to the Most High. That's how we should build. You know what I mean? Con. What? Dang.
Feel verse 2. Man.
What does say? Wine and women will make men of understanding fall away. Hey, that's what they was doing in the wilderness in Exodus 32. They was getting their wine and women on.
And when you look into that play,
The who?
that play was talking about they woke up, they drink, they play.
Yeah.
It says something of youth. I see now. I can't do this no more.
Hey. I mean, but see, they was doing it. It was why they was doing it. They was doing it in the name of Baal. They was doing it in the name of Baal.
How that bike doing?
It was a
man? Still
holy day.
right?
They was celebrating in the name of Baal. You know what I
Did he fix
mean?
it when it just crank up and then start?
What up, Mike?
Yo, what up, dude?
Oh yeah.
Shalom, man. Ain't nobody want to come in today, huh?
Guess not. You know, it is what it is. So, most I will be smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, we cool, man. It don't make no